Loman in real life. I'm here with my buddy, the late, the great, the best, Nick Karalekas. But before we get into this interview, I just want to give a shout out to my sponsors because without this wouldn't be possible. First, G2 Training is proud to offer 15% discount to all our brothers and sisters in blue. Police officers are near and dear to their hearts, and playing a part in working and preserving their physical health is a priority to them. G2 owners are George Mifsud, who's a retired NYPD captain and part of the NYPD community. He's been an instructor for the past 17 years and now part owner of the Key Promotional School, helping prepare members of the service to pass promotional exams. He's also chairman of the board on the Finest Financial Credit Union. Throughout the 25 years with the NYPD, he's seen too many people firsthand, co-workers, younger and older, battling serious medical conditions resulting either in death, having lived unfulfilling, stressful life. Now he has the opportunity to play a part in helping other people live healthily. The second trainer, Georgia Meyer, the G2 of the G2, has worked for 17 years in the business of health, trained clients, minds and bodies. Clients make consistent weekly appointments, are led through exercises that strengthen the body inside and out, and are educated on the importance of nutrition and how living a balanced life is priceless, and it is priceless. In 2020, his son embarked on a career in law enforcement, graduating during the COVID class and heading out into the streets of New York when so much was uncertain during the protests and stress prevailed. She's seen firsthand the struggles of young officers make first time and time again between healthy meals and exercise. Given the stress in the mind and the body, this career, exercise and nutrition is of paramount importance. This is still a work in progress for him. We want to play a part in helping people get it right, especially law enforcement, to have a long, healthy life. Make an appointment with G2 and show up. All you need to show up. All right, their number is 516-286-6300, 516-286-6300. You save lives. They save lives, too. Remember, law enforcement, 15% discount. Also, Raymond Kenny. He's a CPA based out of Seaford, New York, providing tax preparation. It's tax season. You better get it done. Don't wait to make an appointment. Otherwise, the federal government's going to come knocking down your door. All right? Bookkeeping services, they can be reached at rkcpany.com, rkcpany.com, or at 516-493-2967. And the last one is one of my other best friends besides this guy here. His name's Frank Vos, runs a 501c3. It's called Reps for Responders. What they do is they offer discounts and they offer programs for first responders, scholarships to jiu-jitsu gyms, scholarships to regular gyms, and just to help cops and first responders, law enforcement, military, EMS, firefighter, whoever, dispatchers even, corrections, everybody deal with their mental health and their physical health. It's of extreme importance. Frank has his own story of his own. He'll be on a later podcast. But upcoming, they have what's called a beefsteak. I didn't know what the heck this was. It's apparently a big thing in Jersey, and they're having it in Jersey. It's on April 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. Check out their Instagram at Reps for Responders. They also have their roll call, which is taking place on April 26th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that's through Echelon Front. That's Jocko Willink's company, and it'll be a first responder get-together, and you guys will learn some leadership tactics and how to provide the best services you possibly can as a leader for your organization. So that's a word from our sponsors. Thank you very much to our sponsors. I appreciate it. But back to the man of the hour, back to the most important person here right now, one of my best friends. And the truth is, I don't even know how the hell we met, to be honest with you, or the first time we met. This is Nick Karalekas, the Greek god of supplements, okay?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, buddy.
What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Nothing. We just got a quick, I did shoulders and triceps, and my beautiful girlfriend Sarah did glutes. Shocker. But yeah, I think Babs is having like a posing ceremony or thing today. Jay's gonna be there, a guy's gonna be there, a bunch of the people. But yeah, had a solid morning, had my energy drink. Life is good.
Good, man. Yeah, no, I it's funny. I ran into you at the gym this morning, and Sarah, obviously, who will also be on a later podcast. She's great also, and it was funny is I totally forgot that they had the posing thing today. But when I got there, it was pretty crowded. It was decent, like normal Saturday crowded. And even though it was early, I got there at like whatever it was, 8:40. Yeah. And all of a sudden, progressively, just started to get so much more crowded. Oh, my God, so much more crowded. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. The posing thing is today. Yeah. And I had a buddy of mine text me. He's like, dude, I can't even get near the dumbbell rack. I should have came earlier. And then I'm just like, I'm just laughing my ass off, you know.
We flipped a coin this morning because we both said like we're both like with our jobs that we have. Sometimes we have to work shows or whatever, but we're I've gotten better with crowds. I still hate them.
Yeah.
So like we were saying when we got up, like, hey, like we gotta Profit or Bevs, like we gotta pick.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, just go to Bevs. Like it's it's closer, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. But we got there like at 7:38. It was good. It was good.
Yeah,
Saw Jay immediately. Hey,
Yeah.
man, what's up?
I met Jay last year, I think, when he came down for his posing last year. Awesome guy. And, like, one of the most surprising thing about him, it's so funny, like, you know, you have Ronnie Coleman, who everybody knows is a cop, right? But Jay's background, he was going to become a cop.
Yeah.
And, like, I was like, when he told me that whole story, I was just, like, really shocked by it. I mean, it's funny. It's like, it's good. And he's such a nice guy. Like,
Yeah, he's probably, in terms of approachableness, he's up there. Like, again, when the conversation of, like, fitness celebrities come up, everyone's the same. Like, some people are further along, some people are just starting, but like these people put their pants on just like you, and they started off at zero just like you. So it's nice to see though. Like he did that deliberately though. Like Jay's the type of guy that will go to Bevs early, obviously to beat the crowd, but also he was done working out for an hour. Yeah. He was just there to like, because he knew people were going to come up just to make someone's day. He's just a really high quality human being. Ronnie is too. I said this story last night. When I met Ronnie for the first time, me and Guy were in Dubai for the Dubai Muscle Show. I had to go to the bathroom. I was holding in. We worked the booth, and I was in the bathroom. And then someone's knocking on the door. I'm like, who the fuck? Like I'm literally going to the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, give me 2 seconds, man. And it's just like the security guy, just in a suit. I'm just like, dude, what the heck? And then he like moves back and like opens the door. He's like, make way. It's fucking Ronnie Coleman. It's like, what's up, buddy? I was like, hey, Ronnie, great to meet you. I'd shake your hand, but I haven't washed my hands yet. But you're my hero. Like, love you. But no, very approachable human too. But yeah, man, all these people are the same. Everyone puts their pants on the same way.
Yeah, I think that's one of, especially for anybody out there who's listening, who's just like, you know, I have a lot of listeners and people who follow me who are like still intimidated to go to the gym. And I'm telling you, like, people who actually genuinely take it seriously. I had the same thing. I didn't even know what Bev Francis is, like 15 minutes from my house. I didn't even know it existed until a guy that I'm now friends with, No Donuts here, some of you guys know him, Mike Cunahan. He put in his on his Instagram that he was at the East Coast Mecca of bodybuilding. So I was like, all right, let's look this place up. Where is this? And I'm like, 15 minutes from my house. How do I not know this existed? Because I really wasn't into fitness or working out. I didn't have any fitness magazines. I wasn't that guy. And I was so scared to go there, like legitimately terrified to go there. And so what I did was I bought, I think it was like a 10 visit pass. It was like $100 and whatever at the time, because I was like, I'm not going to be a member here. No way. I'm never going to be a member to this place, you know? And then I worked out, and I legitimately never went back. Like it was, everybody there was so supportive, and I feel bad for people who go to a lot of these gyms that literally will just charge you enough money so that you keep paying forever and never go, you know? And it's just such a different environment from a place like Bev's or even Profit. Profit's another good one, depending on what time of day you go.
Agreed.
Yeah, like if I go in the morning, it's awesome. But if I gotta go like in the midday, like, you know, me and you have been there, and we've run into some assholes who are just assholes for no reason. But I think that's just a misconception that like these bodybuilders are just like dicks.
So like that's the funny thing, right? So like I first discovered Bevs when Generation Iron first came out, and it was right smack in the middle of the Phil Heath, Kai Green bodybuilding like battle for years.
Yeah.
And I've met Phil before. He's a very nice guy, but like they painted him as such a villain, and they painted Kai as the hero. And then I mean, it was Generation Iron's first like really big project, and Kai's sponsor, Muscle Meds, like overnight their revenue and traffic went because they were featured everywhere with Kai, and Kai was the hero and Phil was the villain. Meanwhile, Phil was battling for years before he even got into the top 3. I'm not a huge, that's really the only era I even know, because that's when I was really paying attention. But that's when I discovered the East Coast Mecca, because I think it was George Farah that was training Kai at the time. He was like, yeah, we're going to the East Coast Mecca in Syosset, New York. I'm like, wait, what? It's 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And Kai was there. And at the time, I was 23, 24. I was like, holy shit, I got to go there. And I became a member, and I was like, I'm stepping on stage. 2 years later, no, I'm not. The bodybuilding is not for me. It never is, never will be. But the people that do it are the most dedicated, consistent people I've ever met in terms of just day-to-day lifestyle. The consistency is nauseating. To day in, day out, do what they have to do.
Yeah, no. I mean, you put up a video. It was either you or Sarah in the story. It was Francesca and her boyfriend just eating their meal prep while
we went bowling. We went bowling last night.
And I'm like, nope.
Eric brought his back, his whatever, the lunchbox thing. I'm just like, he's like, oh, I got our food. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Me and Sarah ate before we left, so she's just as nuts, by the way. Sarah's just as nuts.
Good for her.
Yeah. And
is she competing now? Is she going to?
I can't say.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Then I don't know anything.
I mean, I'd probably give it away, but potentially sometimes she hasn't made her mind up.
Right. No, I got you. Yeah. Listen, man. Like I'm one of those people, and this is one of the main reasons I started this podcast back up again. Like I was always doing it solo. I did it solo sporadically for about, I don't know, like 2.5 years, and I realized that I just wanted to talk to people. I'm just so impressed with anybody who's good at what they do, you know. And I could have nothing to. It could be something I never did, not something I have no intention of doing, like bodybuilding. I have no intention of bodybuilding. Like, yeah, I work out recreationally, but I'm just so impressed with people who are just so disciplined and into their craft, whatever it is. Like CrossFit, like I think I've done CrossFit like 3 times, but like to watch people do it, like, I'm like, insane. Oh, it's crazy. Anything like that, like I'm gonna have a buddy of mine who's a wedding videographer on. He's like one of the top wedding videographers, because I just want to have those conversations about people who are just like awesome at their craft, and being surrounded by people, even if you're not going to be a bodybuilder, a place like Bev's, just seeing people who are that into it makes you want to work that much harder and be more into it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, it's good. So what else is going on with you?
Nothing, man. It's a really exciting time, just life and career wise. A lot of projects going on business wise, personally, but we're kind of hitting the ground running this year, and we're really trying to make the most of it. And that's really what anyone can try and do. I don't mean to be vague, but it's when it comes to like New Year's resolutions and things like that, I used to hate them. Hate them. The reason being is because why wait till a Monday or January 1st to really go after things? The truth is that some people need that. Some people need the structure, and not everyone is like, you know, Kai Green disciplined. Like some people need a launching pad, and if it just so happens to be January 1st, so be it. And that also leads into like when people go to the gym and whatever. I would say 95% of the reason why a lot of people don't consistently go to the gym is because when all these new people come, they get all these dirty looks and then this and that, and then they get afraid. So, you know, that's why I would say, honestly, really, since we started talking, and this was always a soundbite from you, is when you see somebody that's new or that's on their journey, like, don't be shy in telling them, hey, I see you here. You're doing a great job. Just keep up the good work. That 2 minutes can make somebody's life.
Oh, of course. And it did. And I know because I was that person. So, like, when somebody would come up to me, like Sadiq came up to me once in the gym. He's like, dude, you're looking good. And, like, you know, Sadiq is Sadiq. So I was just like, I was, like, so taken back by that it meant a lot to me. And anybody. And I make sure you don't even have to just compliment somebody. You could just be like, just that smile, like, hey, how's it going? Because to be a new person at the gym, it feels so awkward already. You already feel like everybody's looking at you. When you see a friendly face there, you're like, oh, okay, I'm comfortable now. This person just sees, people just want to be seen. Yeah. So when you see them and like you acknowledge that you see them, it just makes them more comfortable in that environment. Just be one of those positive people. I'm not saying you got to go like, be all like fucking like, you know, the Joey Swole or anything, but you like, just be a positive person. And there's no reason. There's no person who's big enough. There's no person who's famous enough. There's no person who's jacked enough to be a dick. It's just there's no reason that should happen. Yeah. And if that person's being a dick to you or whatever, don't take it personally. That's all about them. You know?
Yeah. And I'll even piggyback off of. There was actually one time me and Aaron went to the gym, and I think it was a Pro Fit, and I forgot what we were doing. We might have been filming. For the brand I was with at the time. And it was a workout video. I think it was shoulders, whatever it was. And I'm like, I look at you. I'm like, dude, this guy will not stop grilling me. I don't know you. I don't know whatever. And then he started grilling Aaron. And I think he's always been that way with Aaron. And then Aaron was like, you know what? And then I'm like, what the fuck did he? And he went up to the guy. I was like, "Hey man, how you doing? I see you're often doing a great job.
Yep.
My name's Aaron. If you need anything, please let me know." And this guy's face was like,
Yeah, because
yeah.
the bottom line is
Yeah.
these people don't know you. They're just judging someone, especially if somebody comes in there and they're filming. And like this is a big thing in the gym, in gyms now, is like people self-filming tripods or like even having a film crew or whatever. You know, everything's on social media these days. There's this, there's this picture. I can't remember what gym I was in, but it was the best picture ever. It was Arnold back when he was training, and he's got a legitimate camera, and he's in the mirror of the gym, and he's taking a picture of himself in the mirror with a real camera. And I'm just laughing to myself because people who work out nowadays, like who've been working out for a little while, like, oh my God, this is like some new thing. Like, no, it wasn't a new thing. And like before Arnold was Mr. Olympia or whatever, he was always documenting his journey. He was always doing this stuff in just a different way. But people look at it with a lens of like retrospect, where they're just like, oh well, it's okay that he did it because he was Mr. Olympia. It's like, yeah, but like these people in the future, you have no idea what their journey is going to be or where it's going to go. Or what? Listen, obviously these people should be respectful and not be assholes about where they place their equipment or whatever. And having a lot of equipment is just a whole other thing.
That's another conversation.
Yeah. Like,
there's a way to go about it.
Yeah, listen, I have a thing in my wallet. Like, I film plenty of content, man. I have a thing in my wallet. It's the size of a credit card. I got it served an Instagram ad. Okay, I don't even know what the hell it's called. I bought 2 of them. It folds up, goes in my wallet. I can unfold it, and it becomes like a mini little tripod. Put my camera in there, put it on something. Boom, good. That's all I need to go. Or make friends at the gym. People are so afraid to make friends at the gym and be like, hey, listen, can you do me a favor and just like record this for me? And I'm telling you, that has built more relationships for me. Other people asking me, because if people are always scared to ask that question. So if you ask somebody, hey, could you film this for me? They will ask you the same question, and then you wind up becoming friends. There's so many people at Bev's that I've met doing that and in building that relationship, because everybody wants, everybody has an end goal, especially if you're running a business or you're trying to do something in any industry. You need that little bit of help. It's like the photography. It's like the spotter of the gym. Like, if you want somebody to spot you, you got to have a conversation. If you want somebody to film you got to have that conversation. It's the same thing. And I forgot what I was completely going with that. But, so yeah. So my thing is like people have this idea, they see you filming or whatever, and they, for some reason, have this insecurity thought about themselves, like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? Who's this guy to have a film crew? Who's this guy to be filming themselves? Yeah. And that has nothing to do with the person who's being filmed or filming themselves. That has everything to do with that person. That person is like, why is nobody filming me? Why don't I have the balls to film myself and put it out there? Why don't I have the wherewithal? Because they deep down they really want to do it because they want to be more than what they are. They're just so fucking terrified about what everybody else is going to think about them, so they never do it. So instead of them actually taking action on how they feel, they'll take it out on everybody else. So they don't know you. So that's why I'm like, I will go up to that person and I will 100%, whether it's true or not, be like, yo, dude, I see you in here all the time. You're killing it. You're huge. Like, I'll just compliment the shit out of them, and it just totally fucking puts a pretzel in their head, and they don't even know what to do. And then if they still want to be an asshole after that, they can be an asshole. But I am not going to be the person who fights with people in the gym, because it I don't know, it just makes no sense. I'm not going to be like, yo, not in front of me, bro. Shout out Guy Cicinino.
That's funny. I just got off the phone with him too.
Yeah, how did you meet Guy? Like, how? That's got to be a crazy story.
Honestly, it's not. So, I started in the industry at a company called the Nature's Bounty Company. They are now owned by Nestle. All the brands like Metrix, Body Fortress, Pure Protein, Rexall Sundown, Solgar. I can keep going. It's ridiculous. I was in international registrations there for about 3.5 years, and I went to this pharmaceutical company. They needed a sports nutrition brand, so I guess fortunate for me, it's really what kickstarted my career was they needed someone to come up with formulas and products for a sports nutrition brand, and they wanted to launch at the first ever FIBO in Shanghai. No pressure.
No.
Yeah, I'm 24 at the time, and they're like, here you go, kid, like, enjoy. So I formulated a couple products for a Chinese line. That is, I don't know what's going on there. And then about 6 months later, they're like, hey, we want to launch domestically, like full rebrand, whatever you want it to look like. I need you to formulate these 34 products. Excuse me, I need it by Friday. Yeah, that was my reaction, yeah. So, like, it was very intimidating, and we were like, all right, we're a startup company, but we have some capital, we have some dollars behind us. How do we really make a splash? And since we were launching at the Arnold, it's like, this isn't not a saying, but like it's more of a belief. If you want to be that guy and make a statement, just make a fucking statement. Stop. Don't fucking pander and walk on eggshells. If you want to make a fucking statement, make a statement. Let it be known that you're there and you're here to fucking play. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. And I had a mutual friend of Guy's, just so happened to be his girlfriend at the time. Shout out Gina. I don't know if you're ever listening to this, but how you doing? And Guy and Gina were dating. I met Gina at a gym years ago. And she was like, I just knew her boyfriend was this big bodybuilder. I was like, all right, let me fucking look. To be honest, this is why me and Guy got along so well. Because when people first meet Guy, they're like, oh my God, it's fucking weird. Like, I didn't know who he was. I really didn't. I knew 4 bodybuilders. Jay happened to be one of them because I always looked up to Jay. But I didn't know who Guy was originally. I really didn't. Then I was like, holy shit, like he's pretty prominent in the space. I had no idea. And he was still with a brand or whatever. So we were texting. He blew me off for like 5 months. Fuck you. Blew me off. Blew me off for like 5 months because he thought I was some fucking schlep. Which at the time I was. I really was. I was nobody. I still really, regardless. So like, and then we finally meet up. He comes to the office, and the company I worked for had a lot of money, a lot, and the building was gargantuan, huge. So he's like, "Hey, I'm at the office. Which one do I come? Which door do I open? Like, which one did you rent out?" I'm like, "No, like, dude, this is the building." He goes, you own the building?" Like, yeah, it's a pharmaceutical company. He's like, holy shit. So he comes in, we give him the tour. I wasn't going to let Guy leave without signing a contract. Locked him up. And from that day on, he's one of my best friends now. Like, he'll be one of my best men, whatever the fuck you want to call it, when I get married. Just a great dude, will quite physically and literally give the shirt off his back for you, and will do anything you need. Besides drive to Long Island to hang out, I always have to go to Jersey, but regardless. But we traveled the world together, man. Dubai Muscle Show, the UK, the Arnold, the Olympia. We were supposed to go to Australia. It's just this whole thing. And I'm pretty sure from Ohio to LA to Texas, we experienced it all. Good times and bad. Trust me, like bad.
Yeah.
Dubai was rough. Dubai was scary. Like leaving. Really? Yeah. So funny. Okay, might as well get into it. So when we were leaving Dubai, when you book your returning flight, I don't know if regardless of the time difference, I forgot what it was. You either have to plan it a day ahead or a day before, because when you're going back to the States, it's a different day. Okay. So you have to plan. I was either the day before or the day ahead. Long story short, when we were going to LaGuardia, or I think it was Newark. Yeah, Newark. I told Guy, hey, this is when I'm returning. He goes, you idiot. You're supposed to do a day ahead. He's the idiot. It was supposed to be the day before. So then he calls United. Hey, bro, like, like my buddy, like we booked our tickets and you guys booked it the day ahead. It was supposed to be the day before. And I'm like, I really think he's wrong. Like, I'm really adamant. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you. He's like, no, listen to me. I'll take care of it. Okay, Quadro, whatever you say. So we're there. Then we meet a guy in Dubai. He was running a protein house. It's like a meal prep. It's like a hummus, but in Dubai. Okay. So he's also a cop, and he ran the protein house. And he was like, "Oh, come by, get your meals, whatever." We go by that night. We get our meals, and guy looks at his phone, and I'm in the bathroom, and I come out of the bathroom, and I'm tying my shoe, and all I hear is, "Nick." I'm like, "Yeah, bud." He's like, "Don't kill me." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Our flights." I'm like, "It was the day before, wasn't it?" He was like, "Yeah, we're about 12 hours late."
Oh, man.
Yeah, and but luckily for us, he got United on the phone. When a guy wants something done, he'll just scream me until he do it. So it got done. United switched the tickets, and then he said that United effed up and they messed up a check-in. Yada, yada, yada. The cool part is, the guy that also owned the protein house was also like a secret agent and like police officer there.
That's awesome.
he's like, "Don't worry. Like, my best friend," he goes, "I work at the airport security." He goes, "We're going to roll up. Don't worry. The airport's 2 minutes away. I got you guys." Because they were like, "Oh, well, we have a next flight. It's like 30 minutes from now." This guy drove us. When I tell you, I shit my pants, because there was airport security ahead, machine guns. I'm like, this is it. This is it. This is it. They take me and Guy, who are, in retrospect, on this planet, nothing. Like, we're into bodybuilding and supplements. Great.
Yeah.
I'm not Derek Jeter. Like, it's fucking Guy and Nick. They take us. He'll tell you this. It's hysterical. And they escort us. They didn't check our bags. Baggage claim gone. No security. They just took us to our gate. Then they sat us down in a room, and they kept asking Guy for pictures.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, oh, picture. Yeah, they love bodybuilding out there.
It's so crazy.
They
overseas, it's amazing.
They love it, and it's great.
Yeah.
And we trained with a kid who couldn't meet Guy at the booth, and like Guy was like, come up to the room, and like we gave him product. He's such a nice guy.
That's great.
Yeah, and but yeah, they escorted us right to our gate. I look at him, I'm like, this is a fucking story, dude. Like this is great. And then the shitty part was I was in coach and he was in first class, so that was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
and
sure it was an accident.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Total accident.
Fucking dick. He came by. He was like, "You good over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay."
How long's the flight?
He's over 6 to 8 hours easily.
Oh,
it was terrible.
It's like 5 hours to Aruba when I go to Aruba. But
actually, I don't know. No, we had to connect. We connected to Frankfurt, Germany, U.S. to Germany, Germany to Dubai.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Dubai always seems like interesting to me. I just I don't know if I would ever find a reason to go there. I try to go there. It's so funny. It's
very worth it. It's honestly, the food is great. The people are so nice. It's you could eat food off the floor.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Nice.
And dude, like everything's really cheap there.
Yeah. So my buddy was in emergency services, which is like NYPD SWAT for anybody who's listening, and he was my first partner ever. So they do this competition every year where somebody over there pays for every police agency in the world to come. It's like the World SWAT Games. And they have like this competition. It's like the Olympics of SWAT team shit. So when they were going, he asked me to write up like a training plan for them because it's part of what I do for the NYPD. So when I did it, I sent it, and I tried so hard to like wheel and deal my way to go over there as like their quote unquote like coach.
Yeah.
But it never worked. Nobody was paying for it. Nobody's buying it. I'm like, shit.
Like, that would have been sick.
Yeah, that would have been like my only shot to go.
That'd be awesome. But you should go.
Yeah, no, I always try to go everywhere. I try to travel everywhere. Where am I going this year? Obviously Aruba. I go to Aruba every year.
I'm going to Aruba too.
Where? When?
April.
I'm going the last week of March, the very first week of April. Like,
I forgot what I gotta ask Sarah because we're going with her family.
Okay, listen, I got a gym. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that the one with like the big wood stuff? Or is no, that's in
like Mexico, I think. Tulum, Mexico. They have one, and then they have one in Miami. I think there's one in Miami too. I feel
Tulum. That's what it is.
Tulum. But no, this gym, the guy, I found a. I don't know if you know who Pete Lilly is. He's he works out at Bev's. He's a Nassau County Sheriff's Department guy. He's also like one of the chiefs of the local fire departments. He's like, oh, I see you go to Aruba. You got to check out this gym. At the time, it was called Body something, but it's called Body Zone now. Or maybe it was Body Zone, whatever it was. And then I was like, okay. So I went there, and listen, it's awesome. It's just the most non-American type thing ever. Like, it's just like, they had a DJ in there, dude. Yeah, they had a DJ in there at the time.
Hell yeah.
They don't have a DJ anymore, but they had a DJ in there, and it's just like very low lighting, like fluorescent lighting, and then like it's a really cool gym. And the guy who owns the place, I've actually become friends with since I started going there. He was like a cop in the Netherlands, like worked hotel security when he got to Aruba because they have dual citizenship.
Oh shit!
Aruba is like a Dutch territory.
Mm-hmm.
So he came there. He's like, you know what? I'm going to open a gym. He opened a gym with this other woman who's like a professional CrossFit athlete.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I've met people who go there like I'm friends with. It's a good time, so you got to check it out. It's a good spot.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
And so if you need any recommendations, I go. Like I said, I go every year. And
I've never been.
Dude, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good time. And even me, like I don't really drink that much, so all inclusive is not really necessary. If you get it, that's fine. But there's plenty of good restaurants and places to go. It's very safe. You can go wherever. Rent a Jeep, go to the other side of the island. For sure, you have to do that. And everything else is good. It's a good time. Where else am I going this year? Going on a cruise, even though and it stops in Jamaica, even though there was like just a travel advisory that like 500 people were like, I don't know if this is true or not, but 500 people were like murdered in Jamaica. And then I don't know, always trying to go somewhere and do something different. So Mark Bell at one point, like this is like 3 weeks ago, whenever I was in Maine, maybe like a month ago, he messages me. He's like, "Hey, how would you like to come on my podcast?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, I would love that."
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah, but then like I hit him up and I never heard anything again. But there was also this. Bro, you want to talk about the griminess? You know, like you follow that guy Goob?
No.
Okay. Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay. So he's a guy. He like pretty much calls out like fitness influencers for like Photoshop.
Oh shit! No, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. So I follow him. Whatever. It's funny some of the stuff he calls out. Like, dude, don't follow. Listen, ladies, men, whoever, don't Photoshop your pictures. Okay. And like
the floor's warped.
it's it's just crazy. Okay. Like I understand that you might feel insecure or whatever, but half of these people already look amazing, and then they gotta go above and beyond. It's crazy. Just please stop doing it. All right. And everybody out there who uses a Snapchat filter to take a photo, if you're using a filter just specifically to take a photo of yourself, like you need to take a pause and just like reset what's going on like in your brain. But anyway, yeah. So it's so funny. This guy hits me up. This is the same day. So Mark Bell hits me up, and this guy, his name's Sean Mike Kelly. Okay, he is. I don't know who the hell he is. I don't follow him. Whatever. And he hits me up, and he's like, "Hey, this is Sean's assistant. Sean wants to have you on your podcast. Blah blah blah. All this stuff." So I check out his podcast. He's like, "Oh, he's had this. He's had like pretty famous people on. People I hate though, like Gary Brecka and like all these other people." So I'm like, okay, these are pretty like knowledgeable people. So I see who is following this guy. It's like all comedians I follow, like Bert Kreischer, like all these people.
Bert.
Oh, Bert's the best.
Love
yeah,
Bert.
Shane Gillis, like all these people follow.
Shane is the dude. He's
the man.
Hysterical, bro.
So I'm like, all right, maybe there's some legitimacy to this. I don't know. I always go into anything with like just so skeptical anyway.
Of course.
So they're like, oh, he'd love to have you on, whatever. I'm like, sure, that sounds great. He was like, oh, he only films in Vegas. He does his podcast live in Vegas. I'm like, okay, no problem. I could easily like use that as a reason to me and my wife go to Vegas for the weekend. No big deal. So then she's like, okay, cool. Just fill out this application, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm filling out the application to be on the podcast. Then as I get towards the bottom, there's a checkbox, dude. It's like, I agree to pay this person $6,000 to appear on the podcast. Bro, I just I started literally laughing my fucking ass off out loud. I was dying laughing. I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, this is insane, right?
$6,000.
Hold on. So when Goob called him out, this is a month later, I had planned on making a video calling this guy out, being like, yo, this guy's a scam artist, watch out for this guy. And I just never got around to it. I was just been so busy. That and like, as much as fucked up as what he did to me, I don't like to put negativity out there, even if it's something that's like fucked up, right? So when Goob calls him out, I was like, oh my God, the rate has gone up. It's now $7,500 he's charging people to be. And then there was a woman in the comments who was like, yo, this guy charged her boyfriend like $7,000, recorded the podcast, never posted it, dude.
What?
Yeah, bro. Fucking nuts.
This is the Goob guy?
No, Goob is good. Goob called the guy out.
Oh, okay.
The guy's name's like Sean Mike Kelly or something. I think it's Sean Mike Kelly. But so what another thing he did, same thing. He's like, yo, are you gonna be in Vegas for the Super Bowl or like some other conference? And I'm like, no. He's like, oh, because if you were gonna be there, I'm having this private event for people who make over $1 million a year. I would invite you to it, even though whatever. And I'm like, okay,
The fuck?
So, bro, I immediately was like, yo, who follows this guy that I know that I could reach out to? So I look, and it's Josh York. You know Josh York, Gym Guys?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, that guy's the best.
Oh, he's the
I
best.
could call him up and be like, yo, dude, what's going on with this? So I text him immediately. I'm like, yo, dude, what's up with this Sean Mike Kelly? And he's like, bro, I'm going to call you in 10 seconds. I'm like, okay. Gets on the phone. He's like, dude, that guy, he invited me to something. He's like, oh, all these people make $1 million. He's like, I wasn't doing anything. I was in New York City. So he's like, all right, you know what? I'll check it out. He goes there, checks it out, bro. He's like, it's a bunch of 20-something-year-old kids. He's like scamming 20-something-year-old kids into paying them money. Bro, it's absolutely insane. Bro, it's crazy. It's just some things in this industry, I don't care whether it's fitness or whatever, like podcasting, it's just so nuts what people are willing to pay just to be relevant as opposed to building their own brand. And somebody put up a thing. Oh, do you follow Mike Van Wyck?
Name sounds very familiar.
He's from Toronto. He's a giant like bald guy, tattoos everywhere.
Oh yes. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah.
Okay. But he put up a thing the other day about how like a lot of people in our industry, they are willing to sell their soul for a 10% discount code, dude. Just for the relevance of just being associated with somebody. And I know you know all about it. It's crazy. And like I understand falling into it maybe a little bit, but like some things just seem just so like just literally you're getting paid essentially nothing, and you're just like putting your whole life behind that 10%. It's crazy, man.
And coming from the marketing side of the business, there's two sides to it, and I've been on the side where it's, brands need influencer marketing in order to be relevant nowadays. You can't just put there's a reason why ads in like Muscle and Fitness magazine. There's a reason why supplement brands are pulling out of those because like it's just the brands that just have fuck you money that do that, which is fine. I haven't bought a fitness magazine in I don't know over a decade. Who's counting? But when it comes to that, I'm in a difficult spot, right? So like from a marketing standpoint, you need it, but when it comes to these people that are influencers, right? That let's say sell their soul for a discount code or whatever. There's a big difference. There are people who really love a brand that want to be involved, that the products may or may not solve a real serious issue for them. Like at the current company I'm at, Caged, we have these organic greens that are really good for your digestion, your gut, and stress, etc. Fully organic. Great. That product can really help some people. And if that person is so blown away by the effects of that product, they're like, you know what? I want to get more involved with that brand. I get a discount code. I can spread the word. Great. Those people are a dime a dozen.
Those people are good.
Those
not
people
what
are
we're
good.
talking about. Yeah.
The people that are like, and my girlfriend deals with this from time to time, and it comes, not just her, but any athlete manager, any marketer that's an influencer in marketing, is you get the people that just want free shit, and you get the people that just want what the kids nowadays call the clout. Just being associated with something, and I don't even know what that is anymore.
Charisma. It's apparently a short for charisma.
No, I have no fucking idea. But it's just to be associated for something, to feel like a sense of belonging, which I have two feelings about. One, pathetic. Two, I actually feel sorry.
Yes.
Like it's, and not in a negative way. Like I feel sorry for you. No, like, no, like if you need a business of some sort that doesn't belong to you, or that's just out there to you, have some sense of self-worth, that's an actual psychological problem that you may or may not have that's way deeper. But I think that's a rare case. But I think, listen, it's a trendy thing to do. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. There's positive, there's negatives. And that goes with everything in life, not just influencer marketing. Like there's good and bad with everything.
Of course.
And whether it's someone selling a discount code, or I don't know why I just touched that candle, but like I was just touching shit. But like, there's good and bad with everything, but I understand what you're saying. Like there's people that are just like doing it and putting like, use code Nick10 at checkout in my bio. Dope. Like 3 people click it. Awesome.
Oh, you know what's worse, dude, is like when people who have the 10% discount code refer to them as a sponsor, themselves as a sponsored athlete, dude. It's just
and this is what it comes down to. It's a sense of belonging, and we live in an age where your social media following and presence is filling a social void that you have to fulfill or make you feel some sort of relevance on this earth, where in fact it is quite the opposite. The reason why I'm saying it like that, I'm not a dick. I used to be that guy. I used to want to have all these followers and make people think like, oh, Nick does this. I don't, dude. You get to a point in life in your career where, not that you don't give a shit, other things start to matter, and you like, as life goes on and you just figure shit out, you tend to realize, well, this don't mean as much to me as it once did. It's a useful tool, dude. It has gotten me opportunities, and it has connected me with people like yourself that have become lifelong friends. So again, it's a double-edged sword. So it's hit or miss, and the world of social media is a tough world to compete in, because it gives opportunity, but you also have to realize, like, it's like when you're like, let's say someone follows you or whatever, right? And you go on the pages and someone posts something, and then you have the trolls that say something negative and positive. It's great, but also sucks, because it also gives a voice to the people that are just there to, unfortunately, have nothing better to do with their lives and just want to talk shit. But it also gives a voice to people like yourself, who, if social media wasn't there, probably wouldn't have that big of a reach.
Right, correct, 100%. I agree wholeheartedly. And people give me shit all the time. They're like, because my social media is like all over the place. Like, I'll post fitness content, I'll post work content, I'll post family stuff, I'll post I don't know, legitimately, my wife, she's like, you know, a lot of these social media people, they like pre-plan content. Like, why don't you pre-plan content? I'm like, my brain doesn't work like that. I cannot. To me, that's just like almost like faking it a little bit.
Let me take a break at work and then talking to you and then getting the kids ready and then, saving somebody's life. Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't. So like, if you ever see anything on me on social media, it's literally like, that's what's in my brain that moment, and I'm posting it. And like, you know, except for like if you see clips of this, like obviously I went back and like took clips out of this and like whatever, or anything like workout clip, stuff like that. But literally, it's just what's on my mind at that moment, and I don't understand. I can't curate things, and I think that's when people have a hard time building, especially fitness people, when they're first starting out and they want to start a social media page. I think one of the hardest things that they have is, and I said this on my solo podcast, which is which I do every other week, is they like don't realize that nobody gives a shit just about fitness stuff, right? Like, what is your relatability to that person? You know what I mean? Because, okay, cool, you lost a ton of weight. We both follow plenty of people who they lost a ton of weight, whatever. Okay, what else you got, dude? So you're going to post that every single day for the rest of your life? Like, you have to give people insight into your regular life to make people, like, to at least, like, give people whatever your goal is with social media. But my goal is to be like, hey, look, I'm a regular person just like you. I have a family. I'm busy. I have a job. I do all this other stuff, and I still manage to do that, and I still manage to help other people. Like, what are you doing besides that initial thing? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of younger people, like, they'll be like, oh, okay, here's me in the posing room at Bev's, like, 5 times a week. It's like, cool. Some people might like that, but like, why? Who are you talking to? Like, what are you like trying?
To be honest, I don't. And it's obviously not speaking to a specific audience, mm-hmm. but I think, and it's not a bad thing, right? Like, if we have plenty of bodybuilder friends that do that,
of course.
Like plenty of them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are great, some of them are whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, all right, you're posting this every single day. Who is this really for? It ain't for me.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure it's for you. Mm-hmm. And I think, and again, there's a double-edged sword. There are people who genuinely want to help and have a mission, mm-hmm. on social media. And then there's a flip side where it's like, and it's unfortunate that social media has created this in people, mm-hmm. and it's really created like confidence issues in humans.
Oh, big time.
And almost like giving people like not midlife crisis, but like questioning like, oh, if I don't post this, I'm not worth of this. Or like, if I don't post that because Johnny's doing it, oh, well, like this person posted this, or like, oh, I got to pose in the poser, like, or if I have to like, Aaron started a podcast, I got to start a podcast. Like, right. It becomes a competition of you trying to become relevant to yourself. Mm-hmm. And 100%. Your self-worth and what you do day to day is not what you upload to your fucking phone. It is who you are as a human, your morals, your character, and how you treat people. It has nothing to do with how many followers you have, the content that you... No one really gives a shit, mm-hmm. at all. Now, if I'm friends with you and you post content and there's a genuine motive behind said content, I fucking love you. I will support all my friends. I will support my girlfriend. I will support anybody. But it gets to a point where it's like, this isn't for your audience. You're trying to fill a void within your own emotional maturity or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. And it shows.
Oh, big time.
And it's a crisis in this country.
Yeah, no, it's a big crisis. And but it's funny. What you said is like nobody really gives a shit. Is like who you're doing this for, and the self-confidence thing is like. This is why I really don't get bothered by negative comments. Is because like, if first of all, people who make negative comments on social media, that's a whole other issue.
It's ridiculous.
Like self-worth in themselves. But if you are tying your self-worth to what you post on the internet and somebody like says something negative, it can be literally mentally earth-shattering for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So if somebody says something negative, like seriously, like if you're doing that, if you are somebody's commenting something negative and it is like destroying you, you have to really question
Which,
your
by the way,
what you're doing.
Not to cut you off, like again, I'm not saying this to shit on people who like post shit every day.
Oh, no, of course
I used to be that guy, and it gets to a point where it's like, hold on, like. What? Who am I doing this for?
Right.
And listen, like I think we're social media or not, I think we're going through like identity crisis, like pandemic in this country, that people have for some reason have to prove to the world about how special they are. Mm-hmm. Let's take a step back behind the curtain and let's reevaluate priorities and like what's important in Aaron's life, in Nick's life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's really take a step back and look at, like, all right, I'm healthy. I have friends. I have a family. I have a job. Listen, social media it's a tool that you can use, and it's great. I use it.
Yeah.
I use it daily.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it
Same
daily.
thing, yep.
We're all addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well.
Oh my God.
Seriously,
Yeah.
you might as well be real about it.
Yeah, of course.
And like, and if that's the case, that's fine. But if you're gonna use it, I have so many friends. Again, like I said, my girlfriend does an amazing job with the stuff that she does with athlete management
Mhm.
for the brand that she works at, via My Sports. How you doing? There's your plug. Send the check. So, she does a great job over there, and whatever she posts, she wants to have a positive impact. She has an amazing story and she's impacted so many people. When I first met her, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then she let me into this whole world that she's created, and she's done a tremendous job, and she's well on her way. She's only 23. It still blows my mind. But then you have other friends that put stuff out that are like, this is clearly like just to boost your ego, dude. Like, you gotta like.
Yep.
And it's a self-identity crisis that we're going through as a country, as people, as humans, and it's I won't say solvable, but I think everybody needs to go to therapy is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody should go to therapy, man.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so funny is like people are just so anti talking to somebody else about anything and finding out like what their deepest emotions are. Like, bro, I throw all that stuff on the table. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? It took a while to get there. It's not something that's easy to do.
I think that's everybody.
But you have to talk to somebody, and people should see somebody else and talk to them. And even if it's not therapy, like sometimes just have conversations with people, man, and like
You don't know
real conversations.
But the thing is though, like, it's how cathartic that process can be, and it's whether it's you. I called you the other day for the first time in our friendship, and you're like, dude, just call me whenever you want. And having that outlet. And listen, my best friend Nick's just like that. We never talk on the phone, but like he's the same way. The guy prefers the phone. He hates texting. He fucking hates it. He's like, dude, just
like
call
in
me.
the mob.
Yeah, he's like, just call me. I don't want to wreck it.
Yeah.
But no, having that outlet of someone that you can just talk to and relate to, because the truth is dude, listen, everyone has shit, and I don't like the stigma of like everyone has shit. Get over it.
No.
Yo, bro, fuck that shit. Like, if you have stuff that you're dealing with, we would be done as a society if you didn't have an opportunity to just get shit off your chest, because like, dude, emotions are real. Like, negative thoughts are real. Everybody has them. Yes, they're not discounted, but like, it's how you really deal with them. And ironically, I keep bringing up my girlfriend. This is gonna be pathetic, but like, she sent me a video that you posted yesterday.
Okay.
About okay, look at all the brown things that you're seeing in the room.
The Theo Vaughn thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, close your eyes. Now, look at all the red things. You caught a lot more, right? And it's really what you choose to see in life in general. And it's really true. And we were talking about it this morning. And it's the more negative you choose to see, there's going to be negative shit regardless whether you fucking like it or not. You might as well try and really go for and make a really strong effort to try and find the positive, because this life is too short, dude. Like, any of us. Yeah.
When I present and when I talk to cops, people think out there might think that I talk about like, oh yeah, you're gonna go work out and like get jacked. Like, that's not what I talk about at all. Like, what I talk about essentially is a bigger version of just that. Like, the job sucks. All right, cool. All right, the job sucks. Great. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let it make you better, or are you going to let it make you worse? And I say the same exact thing. I said, if you wake up and the first thing you think about it today is going to suck, you know, you are going to look for every reason to make that day suck. And like, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, listen, rainbows and unicorns. If you think today is going to be great, it's going to be the greatest day ever. But but you're not going to look for the thing. You're not going to confirmation bias.
Yeah, bro. And if you wake up, like you said, like, oh, fuck this is going to suck. This is today. And like, even if you do that, your day, and I literally look at it from a mathematical standpoint. It's 6 a.m. I'm up. What the fuck? Like, this is going to suck. I don't want to deal with this. But if you try and do your best to kind of turn that switch and almost be Johnny on the spot, I implore you, try it. Fake it. Literally fake it. And just be like, all right, let me look for things that actually, like, and ground yourself. And say the things that you're grateful for. The book that you have to write down, the Grateful Book. Shout out, go on Amazon, buy it. The link's right here. If you could plug that, I don't know if you can, but if you can, great. If you can't, no big deal. Amazon. But like really take a step back and evaluate what you have and really look for the positive thing, because if you do that over and over again, I'm not saying life, like you said, is fucking unicorn sunshine and rainbows, but if you take your best foot forward and look for the positive things, the more positive you'll see, because you're actually trying and your brain is wired to look that way. That is not saying shit is not going to happen. Fucking shit's going to hit the fan every once in a while, but it's how you react to it.
Oh, big time.
So it's staying positive. Not, I always try and tell this to my friends and family. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Because there was a Tom Hanks video that I saw. Not a big Tom Hanks guy, but I saw a video. He's like, listen, what I wish I knew earlier in my career is this too shall pass. You're having a bad week. This too shall pass. You're having a great week and you're on top of the world and you fucking know everything. This too shall pass. God's going to ground you. And he works in mysterious ways. And I'm a very firm believer that this path has already been written. Everyone that's in your life will be, and who isn't, they'll show you whether you like it or not. At times that are probably pretty fucking inconvenient, but at the like pretty fucking shitty. So like, as long as you try and just keep a positive headset, as long as you're just trying and putting in that effort, I think everything usually works itself out.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people also have like this warped version of success and what success really is. You know?
But that's all retrospective, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's really like, what is successful to you might be different to me. I used to. Everyone, in a sense, has some sort of like financial goal, right?
Of course.
So that's one way to measure success. As I've gotten older, is I've genuinely tried to shift my headset in. All right, how can I help my sister today who's pregnant? How can I help my mom? How can I help my parents who have given me everything I've ever asked for and needed? How can I help them out? How can I return the favor? How can I help Aaron? How can I do this? How many people can you affect in a positive light? Because I've found and find currently to this day, I get way more out of giving and helping and just being of service to people. And this isn't fucking the Nick fucking promo. I'm just being serious. Like, I'm just being genuine. You get so much more out of helping a lending hand and just being there for someone rather than like, yeah, I got a sick paycheck. Like, I got this like new car. Come check it out. Like, and be wary of those people too. Steer clear. If you hear someone say "I" 3 times in one sentence, steer clear.
There's such a huge difference between like employment and purpose. For some people who are very lucky, it's both. You have that's the same thing. Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there who their employment is not their purpose and they haven't found that. And this goes back into the social media conversation too. Is like people are just so lost out there. They don't have a purpose and they don't know it. And not having a purpose and not having like something that you like literally defines you that you're chasing is one of the main reasons that people get so depressed now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know what to do with my life. What am I going to do? But like, it comes down to, and I really think it's, for some reason or another, like the social media thing, there's another caveat to like this crisis in this country, in this world that we live in, is I find people, and I have a few friends like this, but no one's perfect, including myself. Everyone doesn't want to have the hard conversations, not with their family friends, but with themselves. No one wants to be real and just say, all right, dude, listen, I was with a brand a couple years ago, and I was at a point, like, I was thinking about I was going to leave, but I had to be real with myself. I don't think I know enough. I don't think I'm good enough yet. I need to learn. I need to absorb. I need to see. I need to grow. All right, let me tackle this that I've been delaying because I don't want to do it because I'm afraid I'm going to fuck it up and I'm not good enough at it yet. Let me tackle this. Let me tackle that. Let me learn all these things and just be very clear and honest with me. The more honest and clear you are with yourself and your goals early on in the process, the earlier success you'll see, because if you just stop avoiding the hard shit and just try, fake it, fucking fake it. Just try. I promise you will come out better on the other side. And it gets to a point where you start seeing some success, and then you start only really doing the things that you want to do, not the things that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do things you're supposed to do, not the things you want to fucking do.
Right.
If you just do the things you want to do, what's gonna happen?
You're just gonna be drunk all the time.
Exactly. You're gonna be standing around with a fucking belly and fucking just chilling. But that's the difference between, let's just call it what it is, adulthood and being a fucking child.
Yeah.
Like, there are going to be things that you don't want to do that you have to do, but that all stems from having those honest conversations with yourself early on and saying, hey, whether it's work, whether it's relationship, whether it's family advice, I need to improve here. I need to spend more time here. I need to stay longer here. I need to show more attention there. And no one's perfect. It's a fucking endless game of just try your best.
Yeah.
And then hopefully everything works out.
Yeah, that's why when you talk about New Year's resolutions, is like I always have what I call like an internal audit, where I'm like, okay, what am I screwing up here? And that is such a hard conversation. What am I screwing up, and how do I want to prove it going forward? Whether it be January 1st, which obviously, even if you say you don't believe in New Year's resolutions, you're subconsciously doing it. You are. You're subconsciously doing it in your head. So throughout, you have to have that audit. Like, am I doing what I say that I want to do? What am I screwing up? That is a very hard. And listen, most people do not have that conversation, because it's so much easier to blame the world and everybody else for your shortcomings.
That starts at home, by the way. That starts at home.
Yeah.
That starts at home. My dad was always very, very, not, I wouldn't say like, he wasn't rude in any chance. My dad's a sweetheart. Most giving man I ever met. But as a kid, I would fuck up a lot. And he would say, hey, buddy, like, just take a step back, evaluate, and how are you going to adjust and take this as a learning lesson, and how are you going to improve moving forward? And I used to, like, I would say up until college, like, it was fuck up, like, constantly. I was a good kid. Like, I got good grades. I was a pretty decent ball player, and, like, in college had some mishaps in terms of, everyone has decisions that they regret, right? And but it's how do you take those and then apply it to your life moving forward, and how do you just improve being a human being? How do you treat people? Like, having those really hard conversations, whether it's with yourself or with somebody else, if you're fortunate enough. But I implore you to, like, write down the things that you're really unhappy with. Write down what you want to improve. And then ask yourself, why aren't you there yet? And what are you doing that is inhibiting that? Yeah. Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it insecurity? Once you find the root of that issue, attack it fucking head on. And whatever it may be. Well, how do I stop being insecure? Do I put myself out there more? Do I do less of that? Why aren't I, making X amount of money? Well, what do you need to do that? Spend more time, make more phone calls, create more campaigns, whatever the hell it is that you may do. And how you get there, everyone's story is different. But having those internal conversations early on, and just be honest with yourself, why make life harder? Just be honest with yourself.
And it'll also help you sort through, like,
a lot of shit,
the things that you actually have control over to change, and the things that you don't, that you really should just stop draining your energy from you. And, but far too many people are just obsessed with the things that they can't fix, that, they continually obsess over. I'm just looking at my notes here. I did have notes, but we didn't talk about anything.
Fire away, man. Fire away, seriously. Ask the question.
What do you think about the importance, especially in our, industry, of authenticity?
I think it's important, but it really... Listen, I'm originally from Astoria, Queens, New York. I come from a Greek and Cuban family.
Shocking.
Right? And so, like, when it comes to, like, authenticity... Not that I think when I meet you, you're fake, but to be very honest with you, when I see social media, I don't believe a fucking thing.
Yep.
I don't believe a fucking thing. And it's not an insult, or it's like, oh, you look at the negative people. No, like, I will only look at you and treat you how I am treated and my experiences with you. If I just know you from an internet page, it's really hard for me to believe that that's actually how you are day to day, because I just don't know you. It's just how I am. I don't, it's not a trust thing. It's like, he could have edited that 7 times. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. It's just, but in terms of how important it is, it's really important, because from a business standpoint, for the businesses that want to hire you or use you, if you're not authentic, and it's just, we already know what's going to happen, how that road's going to end. But it's really important, man. And if you're not being authentic on the camera, off the camera, who's going to relate to you? Nobody.
Yeah, and I think the truth will come out eventually, no matter what. And it's way much more of an effort to, like, be somebody that you're, pretend to be somebody all the time that you're not, because that's just going to come out. It's all going to come, like, crashing down hard. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at Vince McMahon, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, like, I mean.
Oh, you're a big wressling fan.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, so, like, ironically, I had a conversation. I'm not going to mention her name again. I'm just kidding. My girlfriend was making fun of me because I like wrestling. But, like, she was like, isn't it fake, though? I'm like, no, like, it's already predetermined.
Still real to me, damn it.
It's like, it's so real to me, Sarah. But like no, like the ending is predetermined, but like the action of actually doing the match, yeah, sure they go over it, but the bumps that they take, the hits that they take, the chairs, all that stuff is real. But the crowd doesn't know. It's like going to the movies. Like you know how Avengers is gonna end, but you still go, you still watch. So, see, that was a good reference.
Yeah, it was a good reference.
Yeah.
Yo, what are a hobby or an interest that you have that you don't share with anybody?
I really love cooking.
Yeah?
I love cooking.
Do you really?
Yeah, I love cooking. I'm sorry I haven't cooked for you yet. I'm really sorry. So my Greek side of the family, we're more so close to my Greek side than my mom's side. But I spent, shocker, in the kitchen growing up, and my grandmas used to cook with me or whatever. And then as a family we moved from Queens to Long Island, I would say around everyone's close with their parents, but my relationship with my mom, I tell my mom everything. She's my best friend. So like, as I was growing up, she was like, "You want to come in the kitchen and learn?" My sister was off with her friends or whatever. I just got home from baseball practice. I'm cooking chicken cutlets. Like, it's seriously, and I just really loved cooking. And I just took a liking to it. It's a stress reliever. It keeps me busy. Sarah was like, "Why haven't you cooked for me yet?"
She said that to you?
Yeah. She's like, "What the fuck? This is bullshit." I make a killer burger.
Nice.
Yeah. But regardless, no, I love cooking. It's not like a hobby, but it's something that I don't really share that I like doing. I used to be really good at drawing and art.
Really?
I used to be really into that. And I usually take that and then kind of segue it into like clothing design and shirts. So I do some stuff on the side here and there. That I just really love doing it just because it's fun and I get a kick out of it.
No, I could see like when you do the designs for like whatever company you're working for at the time. Like I see it, or even the labeling when you did the labeling and stuff. I could tell you're really into that. Like that's cool, man.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It gets your mind off things and
Yo, what is the best workout tip that you ever got from a pro, and who was it?
Guy, leave your fucking ego at the door. You're not that strong.
I like that.
Yeah. No, we were in Iron Culture in New Jersey, and I was talking shit all the way there. Cause it wasn't a leg day, so I felt confident. Cause he beat my ass, and it's not even, dude, it's not even
it's not even close,
it's disgusting. So chest, I can pretty much not hold my weight, but I'll keep up till about 130. So we're doing 130s, whatever, and then he's like, "All right, now the bodybuilder's just gonna shut the door. Okay." So he puts up the 150s, 160s for reps on incline. Dude, it was disgusting. I'm just I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do this." And he's like, "Dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it." I was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do it." And then I did a few, but the form was off. I felt like shit. I ended up tweaking my shoulder, and I forgot what it was, but I had something going on that day, or a softball tournament that I kept talking about because it meant a lot to me at the time. And he was like, "Dude, leave your fucking ego at the door. Regardless of what your goal is, you have to train with intent, and every rep, every set, really fucking connect with whatever you're training, whether it's your fucking ass, your arm, whatever it is. Seriously, every rep counts, and it's serious. A lot of people go into the gym. Listen, I am no expert. I have a couple certifications, but I'm not here to tell anyone else how to train. I'll help you if you need it, but there's probably better options than me, is what I'm saying. But every rep, every scheme, every negative, every ascension, whatever the fuck phrase you want to call, I could spew more shit at you, but wasting time here is it's imperative that you really try your best to really connect with that muscle and really, really try and put as much emphasis on that group as possible, only because at some point or another, if you're not, you're just going to be recruiting other muscles. And especially when it comes to ego lifting, I used to do it all the time. From time to time, I still do if I'm with the guys. But, it's whatever. We're guys. But it's really leaving your ego at the door because the truth is you're doing more harm than good.
Yeah, no, for sure. I see that quite frequently with my friends who, listen, if you're into powerlifting and whatever, great, good. But all my friends who are into powerlifting, they are all injured. And another one that people love to get injured during is jiu-jitsu too. I'm not here talking shit about jiu-jitsu, okay? Jiu-jitsu's great.
Easy, Nick Rizzles.
Yeah, easy.
Easy, buddy.
But everybody who's in it, They want you to come do it too because they love it so much. But they're also like, hey, come do jiu-jitsu with me. I herniated my C4, C7, L6.
No,
I have no back left. I had 3 surgeries. But yo, dude, it's fun. I swear to God.
I spoke to Nick
like,
a couple weeks ago. He was like, dude, when are you gonna come? I'm like, never.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting my ass kicked.
Yeah. I've done it a couple times. And listen, I'm not one of those people like,
Did you like it?
It's okay. It's good. Listen, it's good. It's good to sit there and like learn tactics.
I would have been uncomfortable with the sweaty man on top of me.
Yeah, it is a little uncomfortable when you do that. But I took a couple classes. The Gracies came down to the police department and like taught. Like,
oh, nice! Wow, that's awesome.
Because we have different protocols than what like normal people would have. So they taught us. They pretty much taught a class on like, okay, here is how to operate within your given circumstances. And it was good. It was good to get that refresher and stuff. Like I took martial arts up until the point where I became a cop, and it was just it was a good refresher of a lot of things. And but listen, it's good. It's good to train. It's good to have all that knowledge. I totally understand that. I'm not one of those people who's gonna be like, oh yeah, no, I'm better than that. I could definitely kick your ass even though you do jiu-jitsu. And people who say stuff like that are just like stupid too. I am fully aware of why I don't go. Hey, I'm afraid to go. I'm afraid to get hurt. I'm afraid to get fucked up. I'm afraid to get
it's not. This is not a knock at all of like, that's fucking for losers. No, dude,
it is awesome.
I don't want to get my ass kicked at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's this fucking sweaty dude with me in an arm bar. I'm good. I'd rather just shower and eat my Doritos. Leave me alone.
Well, and not only that, like, it is going to affect how I train, the way I train normally, and I like the way I train.
Yeah.
People have this perception of whatever, and they think that I go to the gym and like, obviously the physical aspect of it is great. I've transformed my body, but I've transformed my mind way more than I transformed my body, and I need that. I need to go to the gym every single day. And I enjoy, even if I had the opportunity to like work out at a place at work, I would rather go to the gym and be outside of people I hang out with every single day at work. I want to see different people. I want to see my friends. There's that aspect. There's a social aspect. And obviously there's the physical, mental aspect that go into it. Like, I need that. So if I got injured doing something like jiu-jitsu or whatever it is, I don't care, skydiving, something else, and it took me out of that environment, I would be fucked. I would be like mentally, like I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
See, that's so like the whole we did this pandemic when we did the when we toured and we did each gym like every single week, and for when we was during the pandemic we would pay the day pass. That was really gratifying for me because not only were we helping small businesses, but we were almost like galvanizing communities at the same time. And it was just really nice to see, and being around new people, training around new people, helping. I had a lot of fun. It was like 3 gyms in. We did a shit ton. Like
I think we did like 10 or so.
Yeah, close to 10 gyms. And I got a lot of gratification out of like, there would be new people that would show up, and then they would just ask like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And it was just really nice just helping, because it was at a time where everyone was like, stay away from me, like don't talk to me, like I'm doing my own thing, or like 6 feet, put your mask on. That's probably worse for you than it is with it off. Like but regardless of that, it was really nice doing that, and I got a lot out of that.
No, I got a lot out of it too, and believe it or not, like obviously, like I knew you, and I knew Rizzles, and I knew Tyler, and I knew all these people, but like I think during those like gym sessions, like we became like really close. Like I think closer than like most people I have in my life, obviously besides my wife and kids. Like that's why I consider you guys such good friends, is because of those moments and those times that we had like during that time, But I had touched on this before, dude. When was the first time we met, dude? Like I cannot.
Oh yeah, no. So this is the funny thing. So it was at MFIT, and I forgot how it came about or whatever it was. I think just like it was one of those like, I may have saw you at the gym, and then like either I followed you or you followed me, and then we just connected. I remember specifically, I was in the locker room at Bev's, and I was just like, "Yo, what up, dude?" And just kind of like, "Yo, what's up?" And that was it. And but like that was it. And we just went our separate ways or whatever.
Okay, word.
And then we just met through there. You hopped on board as an ambassador at the time, and nothing but supportive, as you always are.
Yeah, no, of course.
And
it's hard to find unique people in the world, dude. Like not unique, genuine, authentic, unique people in the world. And like I just had that instant connection with you. Like not to be a little
No.
emotional. We're not gonna like start making out across the table.
No,
I
you
think.
don't.
But
2024, it's acceptable. I
But-
can identify as a unicorn.
But
for
nah,
now,
it's
too.
so hard to find authentic people
Yeah.
in this world that like, I value our friendship and our relationship. That's why I asked you to come
Likewise.
on the first podcast because I know we probably have the most to talk about just randomly. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
right.
said, like I have notes and stuff, but like, it's all like lame stuff. Like I literally went to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, write me 10 questions for a podcast and
Fire away.
whatever.
We have more?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do them all. Come on.
Besides Guy, who were it's Guy and Jay? Obviously, you said like those are good. Who was some of the coolest athletes you've had the opportunity to meet?
The late great Sean Roden. He passed away a few years ago. So I met around a lot of these people too. Like shout out to Guy. Like when I met Guy, he knew I was a fan of the sport at the time, and he pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey, listen, like we're gonna go leave the booth for a few hours." He goes, "Who do you want to meet?"
Oh, nice.
And he took me to Sean. He took me to Lane Norton. He took me to Phil Heath. He took me to Kai. Like I'm talking cutting lines. Like I'm not paying anything, obviously, because we're a sponsor. But he opened up a lot of doors for me, and I mean, publicly thanking you now. You're at Bev's right now. Don't let this blow your head up. But like seriously, like Guy opened up a lot of doors for me, and he doesn't get enough credit that he does for helping me in my career. Like he really put me on the map, in a sense of like meeting people, not in that way, but like he opened up a lot of doors, a lot of friendships. I never thought that I could go up to Jay Cutler and like at 8:00 in the morning at Bev's and he'd know who I am.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So like I had no like that was really great. Besides Guy and Jay, Sean Roden, Guy is his daughter's
really?
godfather. Yeah,
Oh, I
him
didn't
and
know
yeah,
that.
Sean was Guy's best friend.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, and then when Sean, it was terrible. I haven't seen like Guy like that ever. But Sean was a very kind-hearted human being. Never got enough credit for it. There was some shit at the end of his life and career that was just unnecessary and unfortunate. But just a beautiful human being, and I will only judge people on how they judge me.
Oh, for sure.
Sean was a great human being, and he deserves to be remembered that way. So rest in peace, Sean Roden. In terms of like athletes, Arnold was really cool. Meeting Arnold.
Oh, look at you.
But that was only like for 2 minutes. He would go to each sponsor's booth.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's cool.
yeah, so like at the Arnold like expo, it's not even like a bodybuilding show. It's a full fucking expo. Like WWE is there, UFC is
Oh,
there.
really?
Dude, 300,000 people.
Which one
bro.
is this?
The Arnold Expo.
Yeah,
So like,
I always wanted to go, but like,
dude, honestly, it's if you ever want to go, we'll talk after.
okay.
Well,
yeah,
I'll see if I can make something happen. But like, the Arnold is so cool because it's when I tell you it's substantially larger than the Olympia, it's not even close in terms of pure size.
Yeah.
They have to rent out 2 convention centers.
Yeah.
Dude, 350,000 people.
That's insane.
The whole state of Ohio is like Manhattan. It's ridiculous.
We stopped there. So I drove to Tennessee. So I always buy my trucks out of state because sneak tip, all right? Find somebody out of state, an out of state dealer. They will, if any dealer anywhere ever tells you they can't find a car for you or whatever the price is, especially in New York, go find an out of state dealer. They will literally order it from the dealership, from the factory, exactly how you want it, exactly how you want it built. You just got to wait for it, and you will pay substantially less. So I've done that every time. And I did it in Tennessee this time. So on the way from Tennessee, we stopped in Ohio, and what city is it again?
Columbus?
Columbus, yes. Oh my God, I'm so dumb. My daughter would be so mad. She's like a geography expert at 10. But in Columbus, Ohio, and I remember seeing the Arnold statue and everything. So I can only imagine what that town would be like, completely packed.
Dude,
like
it's
mobbed.
yeah. So like when you go to the gyms during the Arnold, when I tell you like you can't move without hitting shoulders, but I'm not kidding. Like every square inch,
There's probably not that many spots there.
there's 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But like the Arnold itself is awesome. My first Arnold, like me and Guy had to go on the stage and give a speech to like thousands. Dude, I was shitting.
Oh, I did see that. I remember seeing that.
Shitting my pants. Great experience.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever do that again. Actually,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah, you
maybe
do.
one day.
One day, CEO of your own thing, man.
You never know. You never know, right? You never know. But no, meeting Arnold was cool. He would go to each sponsor. We were a silver sponsor, whatever the fuck that meant at the time. And he would come over to your booth, shake your hand, talk to you for 2 minutes, and then go to the next one. Don't know why. I guess because I saw him and I like mustered up, and he went right, shook his hand. Hey Arnold, how you doing? Huge fan. Like everyone was trying to talk to him. I was like, yo, shut the fuck up. I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
I was like, I loved you in Terminator. Yeah. But yeah, very nice guy, even though it was only for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And also too, like when I was younger, my dad, shout out Pops, we would always go to the baseball card shows at Hofstra University.
Oh yeah. I went to a couple of those.
Yeah, but they would have ball players there that you meet, get a ball signed or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, I've met Paul O'Neill, Tino, Jorge, Jeets, A-Rod, like
All people I hate. Perfect.
dude.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
kidding.
great. No, I met Mike Piazza, Tom Glavine. I met all these guys, and my dad always used to take me. And there was one that Bob Feller too, who legend. There was one that always stand out, and my dad always tells this story. Tom Lasorda. He was the manager for the Dodgers. He was also a great baseball player as well. And I was like 7 or 8, and my dad takes me up to meet Tommy, and they're talking, whatever, signs a ball. Chris, nice to meet you. Nick, nice to meet you. And like I was 7, so I was like, nice to meet you. Shook his hand, whatever. And it was a literal life lesson. So he goes, hey Nick, come back. I was walking away. He goes, anytime a man shakes your hand, look him in the eye and shake his hand firmly. Don't look down. You're a big boy. You could do it. He goes, I'll see you later. And he shakes my hand firmly, and he's like, look at me. And like my dad still tells that story to this day. He didn't fucking have to do that.
Yeah.
But it quite literally changed my even though it's small.
Yeah.
Like, and it's minuscule, and it made me nothing to pretty much everybody else who hears this. That moment was like, oh, okay. And I was still very shy growing up. Actually, I would fall asleep at weddings. My head would go on the table. But like, I never thought that I would get to a point where I'm like doing podcasts and like doing videos.
No way. Yeah.
Exactly. So like, I think, again, all these things happen for a reason, and that was Tommy Lasorda was really cool.
That's cool. The coolest celebrity and athlete interaction I ever. First of all, Charles Barkley's the man. All right.
That's terrible.
I met him at I think I was working a Pride Parade detail 3 or 4 years ago, and he just walks out of the limo with whoever he was with at the time, comes right over to us, is just like talking to super friendly guy. A person came over and was like so drunk, and this guy was like, this person just called me a bunch of names. He's harassing me. You need to do something. And Charles Barkley, like he was a police officer, okay, just goes, hey, man, can't make a police report for hurt feelings. And I was dying. Well, oh, my God, all of us were dying. And then another good story I had was former New York Jet Tony Richardson. He used to live in Long Island City. And one year, this was around Thanksgiving, he was friends with the people who owned. There's a very famous barbecue place there called John Brown's, and they came to the precinct. It was Tony Richardson and these people who owned the place, and they came there with turkeys for the command, which was awesome. So I was just talking to Tony for a while, whatever. Guy leaves. All of a sudden, he calls the precinct desk, Tony. He's like, yeah, there's some guy following me or whatever, and he's like, yo, nobody know who Tony Richardson was except me, because I'm a huge Jets fan. Yeah. So the person on the desk is like, yo, the guy's calling here. He needs somebody. I'm like, where is he? I'm going to pick him up right now. I grab the car. I go out there. I pick him up. I talk to him, whatever. I drove him home. That was a great experience too, man. Is there anybody that like you thought was such an asshole, and then when you met them, you were like, oh my God, I had the wrong idea? Besides me,
No, I think it really depends. I haven't had that experience yet. I really haven't. I think it's to be very honest with you, I find people have that like experience with me.
Really?
Yeah, I've had people like, yeah, dude, like when I first met you, like, listen, I'm fairly sarcastic from time to time. I can, especially when it comes to business, not be abrasive, but like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like if something's not working, I'm going to tell you. Yeah. I'm not going to waste anyone's time and money. But like in the gym or like for softball, like I'm super competitive, bro. I'm so competitive.
Oh,
I hate losing more than I like winning. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But like I found people like, yeah, when I first met you, you seemed a little like not almost like a dick. And they're like, but as I got to know you, like you're a pretty kind-hearted person. You're a good dude. Like I've gotten that a few times. As I've gotten older, not as much. I think just because I've gotten soft. But yeah, no, I haven't had any experiences with that. I mean, honestly though, like this is kind of out of left field. I used to fucking hate Tom Brady. Like, I'm a Jet fan. Of course, I fucking hate Tom Brady. And then when he went to Tampa, not that I've ever met Tom Brady, I'm just saying this is like the one thing I can think of. I fucking love Tom Brady.
It's so funny. I say the same thing. Like, I obviously hate Tom Brady. I remember when I was younger, harassing a child on a bus. So, oh my God. So I was much younger. It was me and my brother. We went to a Jets-Patriots game, and we got the tickets that we got didn't come with a parking pass, so we had to park in some off-site parking. We take a school bus. We're on a school bus, dude, and I'm hammered, and I'm just yelling at this kid in a Tom Brady jersey, and I'm just like, Tom Brady sucks. I was such a dick. But anyway, I hated Tom Brady so much, very much. And then, like, as he came around, and even like the last Super Bowl, his last couple of years, like, you can't not acknowledge that he's the greatest person that ever played the game. Like, you can't.
Yeah, I think it comes to a point where I think it's like the MJ doc. Like, it's the MJ thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's I don't know if you saw the Edelman clip where he's just like, Julian Edelman and Tom are training. They just won their, like, 4th ring.
Mm-hmm.
And they're training at Tom's house in California or whatever, and Edelman's catching passes. They're done. And then Tom has the location of the Super Bowl written on his whiteboard, circled.
Yeah, yeah.
And Edelman's like, what the fuck is that? And he goes, that's the next Super Bowl. And he goes, don't worry, Tommy. We're going to catch Joe Montana. We're going to catch him. I'm gonna help you catch Joe. Meaning Joe Montana, one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not going for Joe Montana. I'm going for Jordan.
Yeah,
that's why he wanted 7 rings.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous to think about.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't deny, and it's like the LeBron James thing, bro. Like, listen, would I start my team with LeBron? Probably not. I probably wouldn't.
Right.
But in terms of pure talent that have ever stepped on a floor, he's by far like the most talent. Like, he's the all-time leading scorer. You can't tell me he's not a good scorer.
Yeah, no, he is.
You can't tell me he's not clutch. He has the most all-time clutch points in NBA history.
Yeah.
Can't tell me he can't shoot threes because he's going to be top 10 in threes soon.
Yeah.
Like, and the guy, yeah, sure, whatever. He's lost in the finals a few times, but he went to the finals 9 straight years.
Yeah. People just love to compare people.
When he retires, bro, like, it's
they'll just compare you to whoever it is that you like.
Yeah,
you know what
I don't know
mean?
how we got to LeBron James, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, full circle. Let's just talk about athletes that we used to hate.
Goats.
But, like, I have no opinion on LeBron James either way. Like, I used to be really big into basketball. I played basketball. But I couldn't even tell you what's going on with anything in basketball right now. Hockey, too. I used to be a huge hockey fan. Not into hockey. But let's see what else we got here. I can't even read what I wrote. Yo, best advice you can give to beginners?
Just start.
Yeah.
Just start. You're gonna fuck up more times than you'd like, and you're gonna hit a lot of roadblocks. But just start, because, and I've said this to you a lot of times, but, like, having the intent of doing something and taking action on it is better than just sitting there and writing down ideas to actually do something. So doing something is way better and more effective than just waiting for the right time. There's never gonna be a right time to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would just rip the Band-Aid off, go right ahead, start when you want to start, and then just do your best to be consistent. And then as time goes on, consistency will grow, and then that'll create habit, and then habit will create lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you just start, that's half the battle.
Yeah, no, people overplan. They overplan, overprocrastinate. They try to find the perfect thing, the perfect hack, and there's just nothing.
Or they do too much too soon.
Yeah.
Like, when I first got into, like, training and dieting and the whole lifestyle, bro, I was like, all right, but this is like when I was in college. All right, I'm going to wake up, fast cardio, 2 hours. Then I'm going to have my post-workout meal. Then I'm going to go lift for 2.5 hours. I would only train arms, by the way. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's why your arms are huge.
I swear to God, that's really why. And then, like, I would have, like, 2 cheeseburgers after and a protein shake. And, like, that was it. And little did I know that really less is more. It's starting with the foundation, with the basics, and just adjusting and going from there based upon what your goal is and what is the best route to that goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Too many people either never start or they go too hard and then they fall off. And stop listening to everybody on social media, okay? Like, I saw something today in the gym that, and this is something that, like, kind of, like, gets to me a little bit, is, so everybody was in the gym. Literally, the gym was, like, mobbed with people, like, because there's a posing thing. But I see mostly groups of women. They're being trained by a woman who is on so much extracurriculars that she has a deeper voice than me. And they're training housewives in how to get in shape. Like, a lot of these housewives just either they don't realize or they're completely naive to the idea that that person did not get that way doing the things that they told them to do. So just be very mindful about a lot of the things that you see whether it be in the gym or in social media, like even the person who may not even look like that great could be doing something that you may not ever want to cross that line on. So just be very, 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 very careful of that.
And
You
in
know what I mean?
retrospect, too, not to add on to that is like, if you do want to cross that line, or if you do want to try certain things, or if you do want to, not that I do, but do your research. Like,
Yeah.
don't just jump into it without at least doing your due diligence. Do you really need it? Is it the right time? How much of it do I need? What are the side effects? How can it affect me? How will it affect my family?
Right.
Because every action has an equal reaction.
Yes.
Sometimes yes and no. You don't really, right? But just be mindful. Do your research. Don't take anything that says not for human consumption on it.
Yeah.
And then you should be okay. If
Yeah.
it's prescribed by your doctor, great. Don't be sketchy.
Perfect.
Just go about it the right way. Ask
Yeah.
your doctor. Be safe.
There's a lot of things out there. Seriously,
Yeah.
just go to a doctor, talk to a doctor before you just grab something off the shelf that's not for human consumption because you think that it's going to be better for you. No,
And
it
no
is
side,
not.
And no side effects.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, those things come from you have no idea. If you ever want to see a great documentary series, it's called Trafficked, okay? And it's on Nat Geo. It's also on Hulu. The woman who hosts the show, who goes on all these things, she was just on Rogan's podcast, and like she is the bravest person I've ever met. She goes into all these industries and like literally showcases like how all this stuff is done. Like something like 50% of the world's economy is run by black and gray market trade. 50% of the world's economy. Yeah, so that's why you have to be careful what you get. She was even going into things saying like how a lot of the pharmacies in Mexico that people go to get prescription drugs that they think are legit, in the pharmacies in Mexico, they're not even real drugs. Like, and they have like fentanyl and all this other crap in them. So just be very, very, very careful about anything that you choose to do in that regards. What do you think people in fitness are lacking these days? As an overall like generalization, like what do you see like when you go to the gym every single day and you see people who want to be at not necessarily at the top level, but people who I guess are working really hard or trying to work really hard and trying to appear to be the best that they could possibly be for, let's say, I don't know, social media. What do you think it is that they're lacking the most that historically was there that's not there anymore?
Like for like specifically in the gym or just in general?
Okay, go in general, either one.
Actually, you probably apply this to both. I think it's, and I've said this before, and I think it resonated, or I hope it does, is like people like the idea of being something, not actually doing it.
Yes.
And it goes back to the point we said earlier, is having those really honest conversations with yourself with, let's say I want to start a business. Okay, great. All right. Do you really want to make that financial commitment? Do you really want to work 12 to 15 hours a day? Do you really want to put in those hours away from your family, away from your hobbies? Or do you just like the idea of fucking doing it so it looks cool to everybody?
Being an entrepreneur. You just want to put entrepreneur in your bio.
Exactly. But listen, I had this conversation with a bodybuilder friend of mine the other day. It's like people like the idea of being a bodybuilder, but don't actually want to fucking be a body. Like, you can talk about it all you want, but are you really willing to do what's necessary to accomplish that task?
Yeah.
Like, do you really want to do the meals? Do you really want to do the cardio? Or do you just want to post about it and look fucking cool? No, it's for the wrong reason.
Yep.
And this, to land the plane here, is like, it's just doing things for the right reason, not for attention, not for clout, not for followers, not to even boost your ego. To just do it for the correct reason because you want to prove to yourself that you could do something, or you're dedicating it to your father, or like something that's tangible, that's real, not just for attention.
Yeah.
Just do it for the right reason. And it's again, it goes back to action over intention. You really have to take the tangible facts, take action on them, rather than just like, oh yeah, if I had this, I could do that. Like, that's not, no, you couldn't, because if you could, you probably would already do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you didn't because you can't, and you're just all talk. And it's really being able to walk.
It sounds very
talk.
specific.
No, I have sour grapes. Don't you worry.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%, man. People people want to be a bodybuilder, but they don't want to lift any heavy ass weights, right? It's it's first of all, anything else, all the other stuff that goes into bodybuilding too. Like it's obviously takes such a toll on your body. Could you imagine, right? Wanting to be a bodybuilder just for the specific goal of like
just for the stage shots.
Like, get the fuck out of here. No way. And I know there's plenty of people out there that do it, but bro, come on, man. Like, that's such a difficult thing.
Actually, I take that back. It's not just for the stage shots, because there's a lot of people out there, like my girlfriend, who her last competition she did, she didn't tell a fucking soul.
Yeah.
She was doing it for her and her goals and what she wanted for the right reasons. There's a lot of people that, to be very honest, how many times have you seen, seriously, not naming names, you know who I'm talking about, just a group of people in general, that competing on this date, 42 and a half weeks out, and then suddenly 7 weeks in, I just, personal issues, health. I hope it's not health, knock on wood. But it's always you always like to make the announcement, but no one wants to fucking follow through anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Just if you're
I saw this great
thing. It's for attention, bro.
I saw this great thing too. Psychologically, it's I
it's
don't know.
A euphoric rush people get of
Yeah. So when you actually tell the internet or social media that you're going to do something, you get the same dopamine reaction and the reaction from people that you're seeking, that you far off and quit more. I have I'm sick where I'm the opposite, where and this is the whole reason behind starting my page. And this has kept me motivated throughout certain parts of my journey, is for me, it was the opposite. It was, I have this social media page now. If I fuck up and I fail, I'm not by myself, and other people are seeing what I'm doing. So if I fall off, and I totally understand not giving a fuck what everybody thinks about you, but not wanting to let people down who you have given advice to and helped on social media.
Holds you accountable.
Oh my God, dude. It has been one of the best tools of my entire life. So I understand both sides of it.
But
you're just doing but it does have that opposite reaction for a lot of people. And I do listen. Yeah, it's cool to get the stage shots. Okay, I'm not talking. Listen, everybody listening out there, if you take personal offense to this or whatever, first of all, stop being a little soft. But we all know, me, Nick, everybody out there who's listening to this, who we're talking about. Okay, we all, and it doesn't apply to everybody out there who maybe it's a personal accomplishment. They want to try it one time. They want to see how lean they can get, and look,
that's great,
perfectly fine. Okay, but we all know the people who they have a goal and then they just fall purposely fall short of that goal because they didn't put in the actual work that it takes to get there. It's the same thing with owning a business, right? I decided a long time ago that first of all, I have a job. I'm very fortunate enough to have a full-time job where I get paid very well for what I do. But at the same point, when I first started coaching people in person, I love the idea of having a personal coaching business and a personal training business. I want to say 4 months into that, I was I don't want to fucking do this anymore. This is too much. I was coaching people in person, online, doing all this shit. I had to have that conversation. I don't give a shit if I'm a coach. I would rather just do what I do now, is put out products that people can use for a good price, that you can go ahead and get started on your own, because I cannot take the time. Dude, when I tell you, I would get up at 4:30 in the morning. I would be at the gym by 5:30. At 5:30, I'd work out. I'd get on the train at 8:09. At that time, it was 8:09. I get on the 8:09 train. I take the train into work. The whole time I'm on the train going to work, I'm on my phone doing coaching updates, doing all this stuff. That's a whole hour and a half. Hour and a half on the train, to work, at work, doing my work, right? Then I get on the train, whole time on the train, going home. Now an hour and a half going home, doing personal coaching updates, all this other stuff. Then I get home with my family, right? And then I'd have to have a one-on-one Zoom consultation with a client that I had. So now I'm doing that. I literally had no time. I didn't have time to meal prep. I didn't have time to spend with my family. And I decided right then, I want to own a business, but on my terms. And I realized that was just you got to understand what you want out of whatever you're trying to accomplish. It's crazy. But the last question, I don't know, before we whatever, what is the hardest emotional obstacle that you had to overcome, and how'd you overcome it?
During the pandemic, right smack in the middle, when it was really bad, and you couldn't leave your home, it was a whole fucking thing. During that time, in let's call it a 4 or 5 month period, Lost my grandmother, lost my dog, had to put him down. Then we lost my grandfather. I had a really, really, really bad breakup, and then I got laid off within about a 4 to 5 week span. And that really, one, taught me a lot about myself. Had to dig real deep, and just getting through shit like that. You really have to count on your family and your friends and your loved ones. That's why, like, yeah, sure, my best friend's Nick. I've known him since the first grade, but like, without him, that whole process, I wouldn't. There's no way. There's just no way. But like, it's leaning. I really learned how to be okay with relying on other people. I always used to, like, I still to this day have Superman syndrome. Like, I like, if you have a problem, I gotta help you. Just gotta help you solve it. Some people don't need saving. Some people don't want you to put the cape on and rescue them. They just want you to fucking listen. And sometimes you just need to be okay with leaning on other people and being vulnerable enough. Obviously, you want to trust the person. Don't do it to a fucking stranger. That's weird. But like, being okay with not just asking for help, but like, hey, dude, I'm going through this. I just need you to hear me out. I just got to go on my chest. If you have 2 cents, great. If you don't, I just need you to listen to me. And like, really being okay with opening up and putting your wall down for certain people. Obviously, I'm very big on boundaries in general. But like, if you can learn with the right people to be vulnerable, to be open, to learn that everything does happen for a reason, and it's okay to not be okay. We've had this conversation 30 million times.
Big time.
It's really okay.
Yeah.
And if you can know that and learn that and be okay with that and know that life has its ups and downs, this is a beautiful ride. I really implore you to like take your head up from your phone and really look around, because we do not get a long time here. You might as well have a good time doing it.
Just remember, you wouldn't know what the good was like if the bad wasn't there too. Like,
Exactly. You wouldn't know the sunshine if you didn't see the rain.
100%, man. All right, tell everybody where they could find your beautiful self.
You can find my beautiful self at nick.karalekas on Instagram. And that's pretty much it. One social outlet. That's really how I like to keep it. Yeah, but if you guys ever need anything, 2 cents, whether it's supplement related, life related, going through something, just don't be a creep and DM me, but genuinely.
No, definitely be as creepy as possible.
Yeah. But, if you guys ever need anything, that's where to find me.
Guys, thank you very much for joining me and my guest, Nick Karalekas. Thanks to our sponsors, G2 Fitness Training and Syosset, Reps for Responders, and Ray Accounting. Please, guys, give us a like, give us a follow, and always feel free to reach out to me personally. I answer every message that I ever get, just because I know what it's like to actually reach out to somebody and like need help. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you guys next time.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.